Hey, what's up guys, MGH here. Welcome to another FIFA 20 career mode discussion video. As you know, quite a few influencers and creators went out to Gamescom. They've come back with some footage. They've been uploading some gameplay, so it is definitely out there, and I think it's fair to say that we can talk about it now, so I can explain how I feel with what I've played and discuss what we've seen in those videos. So big shout out to a lot of the FIFA creators that went out there, specifically the career mode guys, because I've been able to watch their videos and see what they saw. It isn't very different to what I've seen with my own eyes, with what I played, so I guess I didn't really learn anything new per se, but definitely seeing it in better quality without, you know, with the beta it had that flashing name going around the screen. It was just nice to see it in beautiful HD, so thanks to them for providing those videos so we can all look at it. But just before we do, this video is sponsored by Football Index. If you don't know what Football Index is, it's a football stock market, and it's absolutely fascinating. They approached me and wanted me to show you guys, so if at any point during this video you would like to go ahead and check it out, there is a link in the description. You can go ahead and sign up and start using it today. You get to use your football knowledge and make money. I mean, it's a win-win. I know a lot of you guys are big on your football. You love to watch all the games, and you know a lot about football, and that's so key when it comes to Football Index. So you can play it on their website, you can play it on your phone, Android and iOS, and it's all about using that knowledge you've got of certain players, certain teams, and buying stock in those players, and then when they play well, they are worth more, and then you can sell that stock. So it's really quite fascinating. If you want to learn more about it, I recommend you go ahead and check out their Academy link here. And of course, I recommend downloading the app, which you can see here. You have everything at your fingertips, which is absolutely ideal. And it's just a great alternative to your usual betting. Also, if you start using it, you can stay tuned for their Football Index 7-day £1,000 money back guarantee. There's gonna be more information coming soon about that. So make sure you click the link down below. Go ahead and get started, and best of luck. Right, so let's begin. What did I dislike about career mode in FIFA 20? We're going to start off with the negatives, and then we'll move on to the positives to end the video in a nice positive way. So I think the first thing that I was frustrated with was they've removed the triangle button in the menu that takes you straight to your messages. There is a triangle button when you're actually on the page where it shows you notifications. They actually have a new tile in the menu which shows all of your notifications, and you can flick through them with your right stick. That's a positive, by the way. You see each individual notification, email, whatever it may be. But in the main menu, if you're, you know, at the home part of the hub, when you see you've got an email, you have to actually scroll through the tiles to... It didn't make sense to me when there was a triangle button or Y button on Xbox that takes you straight there. Now, it's a minor issue, and maybe it's something they can fix. I did give that feedback to them. Hopefully, it's something they can do. It was just annoying me. It doesn't make sense to remove something like that, especially when you get a lot of notifications, because with the new morale system and the player conversations, the stories that you end up building with players, you get a lot of notifications, pretty much 3 or 4 minimum before each game, of players asking to play, players being disappointed they didn't play in the last game, a transfer offer coming in, whatever it may be. There is so many emails, and unless you're on the right tile, the right part of the menu, there is no quick access to it. You have to scroll to it, which again, it's just not a massive issue, but it's something I wanted to point out. Another thing that they are apparently fixing, by the way, so if you didn't know, on the beta and at Gamescom, on the build they were playing, there was an issue where when you simulated a game, it would just automatically simulate the entire thing. You know, when you'd normally press skip, it just did that. And there was no chance of being able to watch the minutes go by. Not a massive problem, but a lot of people weren't happy with it, and EA have said they are looking into that, and they should be able to fix that. So I think that's good news. It might mean that other things that I mentioned in this video might get tuned before the game comes out. We've still got a month, right? So that's good news. Now, what we're looking at here is a player conversation with Sergio Ramos. Now, this is one of the new features. You can see in the top right corner, you've got morale. It's absolutely vital. We'll be talking about that later in this video, about how important that is and how good it is to have it in the game. But this is one of the negatives I want to talk about. It's great. It's fantastic that we're able to have conversations with our players. And for the first few hours of playing, I absolutely loved it. For the first few hours, After a while, I'm not going to lie to you guys, it did get a little bit tedious. It became very samey. It was supposedly going to offer a lot of differences each career mode that we play. You know, it's going to feel different every time, but honestly, it didn't. After a while, you get the same requests, you get the same messages from the same type of players. Your captain always comes up to you if he's not playing, saying a certain thing. You get the same problems, the same things that are happening that are good. Some players, when they score, they'll say the exact same thing. Now, I'm not complaining because it's lazy. I get it. You can only have so many things that a player can say. Unless they're planning on adding things throughout the season, it just means we're going to have 12 months of the same dialogue, right? But what I do have a problem with is it did get very boring quickly because it loses value after a while. It feels like sometimes it wasn't really affecting the players as much as I thought it would if I wasn't playing them. Yes, they would get unhappy, but then literally I would say something in a press conference and they would be back up happy again, even if they haven't played. So it's definitely a good start. It's a great start. It really is. We're going in the right direction with a system like this, but it did get very samey. And there's no doubt in my mind that after a month or two, you guys will be feeling the exact same as me. As someone who plays career mode for hours each day to film videos, whatever it may be, if you're a casual player, you play maybe a couple hours a week, it will take a little bit longer for you to get bored of it. But after a while, saying the same things to the same types of players, you get the same dialogue, the same answers, the same questions. It's great at the start, but it is probably something that will get a little bit boring. One thing, however, that I really liked was the manager customization. One issue I had with it was mine seemed to be a little bit bugged out in the beta, at least. I wasn't able to do some things. For example, hair color didn't seem to be working. But of course, these are things that will all be ironed out when the game comes out. But it's amazing that you can be a female and a male manager. You start here by picking one of these avatars, and then you edit that avatar. So you can take any of these and then change them, which is really good. They had a multicolored rainbow beard as well, which I don't know if it was a glitch or if it's actually going to be in the game, but that was interesting to say the least. And here you can see editing someone's appearance with their headgear, I guess you could say, hats, whatever it may be. It was very broken in the beta, but yeah, we were playing a build that was quite old, so the Gamescom build, I'm sure, was a little bit more updated and there wasn't as many issues. But honestly, I love this feature, and this isn't something that will get boring because we've wanted this for so long, and you need this. You can go ahead and import faces as well, by the way, which is absolutely incredible. I don't know exactly how that system works. I will double check when it comes out, but there is an import button, so whatever that means. Up next, here we've got an image of the menu with Messi walking up here when you've gone to approach to buy him. I believe this is from Tobias Gaming, so if you want to go ahead and check out his channel, he bought Messi and Ronaldo, and I found this on Google Images with his channel name underneath. But this is a gripe that I've got, because one thing we complain about every single year is the menus just getting a colour change, a little bit of a facelift. And it would have been nice to see something different. This is quite literally the same menu, the same hub that we've had for years now. And again, it's just a minor thing. It is frustrating that the game looks so similar every single year except from colour schemes. But what I will say, and this is a positive, this is the cleanest it's been so far, I would say. I really love the dull grey background. I love how this looks. So I guess there's a negative and a positive there. One of the new places you can go ahead and negotiate with agents, players, whoever it may be, is a restaurant, which is really cool. And by the way, big news, they've removed that frustrating music that was in the background. I hated that music they had in these cutscenes. That's gone now. They've actually replaced it with, well, it sounds like a bunch of Foley artists have gone ahead and made footstep noises and tables scraping and chairs being moved around. Like, it sounds like a restaurant. It's pretty cool, and it's much better than it was with the music. Another one of the places you can do these cutscenes is kind of like a high-rise office. You can see as a beautiful view behind, which is obviously very nice, but those are the only two new places. I believe there might be an extra one. Oh, actually, I'm testing my knowledge there. There might be another one. I can't remember, but these are the only two I've got images of right now. And of course, we've all seen this screenshot as well of the team management. And I like this. The way you compare your players is very nice indeed. Now, I don't have a picture of press conferences, but it's another thing that I want to talk about. It's very similar to the morale system when you talk to players. every game you get a chance to actually go to a press conference and they ask you 3 questions. 3 questions every single time. You can, of course, skip these press conferences. You do not have to do them or answer them. And I found myself doing the main games. So if I was playing with Arsenal, for example, if a game against Chelsea, Tottenham, United came up, then I would do the press conference. But sometimes I wouldn't. And again, that's probably because I got a bit bored of doing it. After a while, the novelty wears off. It's the same questions. It's very much, how have you prepared for this? Hazard was great in the last game. Is he going to be starting? What do you think will happen in, I don't know, a couple of weeks' time against... Whatever it may be, you eventually use up all your answers and you use up all the questions and it becomes very samey. But I love it. I absolutely love the press conferences because it really affects your team. Morale is the next thing I want to talk about. Let's go back to this image here. So morale in the top right corner. It is absolutely vital that you keep your players happy because it's quite simple. If they're unhappy, they will ask to leave. And when they ask to leave, they're transfer listed and you can't take them off. You're probably thinking that's insane, but this happens in real life. If a player's unhappy and they want to go, it's very, very difficult to keep them in this day and age. Unless you throw money at them, it's so difficult, and it's no different in career mode. There are many ways to affect morale. Winning games, of course, helps, but mainly keeping them happy with new contracts, just giving them good feedback. Playing them in games is probably one of the best ways, as long as they are winning, of course. But honestly, I found myself using press conferences more often than not just to please the players, not necessarily look good in front of the media or whatever. I was choosing answers that would help my team feel good about themselves and then therefore hopefully affect how the team plays in the game, because morale does affect the team. It has been confirmed it affects their stats. So it's absolutely vital you keep everyone at least minimum in the yellow bar, but really you want them in the green, because when their morale is happy or very happy, they play so much better and they grow faster, their value will go up. Obviously it depends on the older players. Like for example, Ramos being very happy, he's not going to go up to 95, is he? That moves me on to the next thing actually. We, of course, this year have dynamic potentials. There are no potentials in FIFA 20 career mode. When you sign a player, they have no set potential. It's entirely dependent on how much you play, how well they do, how many goals they score, what their morale's like. And if you don't play a player, let's say you buy a youngster like Tielemans, just for the sake of him being one of the career mode gods over the years. He used to go to 90 rated, whether you played him or not. Well, now he can flop. He can literally not grow at all. So it's a game changer. It's absolutely massive this year. But you have to take this into consideration, guys. It only affects your players. So all the other players in the database will have a potential, but if you sign them, they're not going to always reach that potential. Do you understand what I mean? It's a little bit weird, I know, but if you think about it, it's the only way they could do this. Otherwise, you could see some really strange things happening with players reaching 95 rated that are playing in terrible leagues or whatever. It couldn't happen the way we really want it to happen, but this is the step in the right direction that we've all been waiting for. It's the biggest thing, and I loved playing it. I loved picking up players that I'd never even heard of. I'd scout someone, see that they played in the position I needed, they were super cheap, and I knew if I played well with him, I would get him to a very good rating. And it happened multiple times. And there were players in my team that I just didn't enjoy using for whatever reason, and they started going downhill or even didn't grow at all, even though they're young players with what we would expect to be a very high potential. And another thing that I absolutely loved is older players don't degenerate so much. They don't downgrade so quickly. If an older player is playing well, look at Aduriz, for example, over in Spain. The guy's 38 years old and he's better than he's ever been. If you play with your players well, despite how old they are, they will stay really high rated. It doesn't matter. They might lose a couple of stats here and there, but you can actually grow them back again. I think it's more physical stats that will go down, technical stats will stay, but they've made such a big difference, and I'm so happy for it. Honestly, I think FIFA 20 career mode it's definitely a step in the right direction. It's exciting times, and the gameplay we've seen from the creators that went to Gamescom really did show some of the improvements, and I'm really excited. So hopefully you've enjoyed my thoughts on this. Little gripes here and there, and it's nothing except from the dynamic potentials and the morale system, I don't think it's anything completely insane, game-changing, whatever. But it certainly is, I think, you know, the right step in the right direction, and we should see even more improvements for FIFA 21. Thank you again to Football Index for sponsoring this video. Please do check out Football Index. Please make sure you're over 18 as well. I forgot to mention that earlier. I'll definitely put a bit of text on that. You need to be 18 plus because, of course, money is involved. So make sure you are 18 plus when you sign up. And best of luck with it. It's great fun. Thank you to them for sponsoring this video, and I will see you next time.